Imagine arriving late for dinner in 1902 and your friend saying, not to worry, he's already ordered you bee's knees and canary bird's tongues. Well, that wasn't a real meal, but it was part of the strange early life of the phrase, the bee's knees. Today, it means something fantastic. You're the bee's knees, darling. But before it became flapper slang, it was a joke about something tiny, then a joke about rare and ridiculous delicacies. And somehow, for more than 100 years, people kept putting bee's knees on toast. So today, we're looking at how an insect's body part, and bees really do have knees, or at least something like them. They have a joint where their little legs bend, how that part became one of the cheeriest slang phrases of the 1920s. So, first, people talked about just one little knee. If you wanted to say something was tiny in the 1600s and 1700s, you could say it was not even as big as a bee's knee. Then in the 1800s, the knees doubled, and people began to use the bee's knees to joke about desirable made up food that was hard to get or frivolous. The Oxford English Dictionary has a citation from 1902 that says, quote, when one camps for long so far from civilization, milk and eggs are as unattainable as the proverbial bee's knees and canary bird's tongues, unquote. And strangely, they have 4 citations spanning more than 100 years about bee's knees on toast. The Saturday Evening Post used the phrase in a 1917 article explaining why certain fine families didn't make it to a theater show, writing, quote, "It is uncomfortable and undignified to stand in line after dining on bee's knees and other rare dishes, especially if you're all dolled up," unquote. Indeed. And a quick aside on spelling. When it picked up the S, the spelling also started going all over the place. You see it as just plural, bees knees with just an S on bees, plural possessive, bees knees with an apostrophe after the S on bees, and singular possessive, bees knees, B apostrophe S. Merriam-Webster lists it as the possessive singular. So the experts say we are talking about the knees of just one bee. Is it Barry B. Benson from the Bee Movie? Probably not, but it could be if you use your imagination. So then next, in 1919, we get to the something fantastic meaning, which is the one you probably know and think of coming out of the mouth of a jaunty flapper. That party was the bee's knees. And they had lots of similar sayings. In the 1920s, your favorite guy or doll could be the cat's whiskers, the dog's buttocks, the snake's hips, the mosquito's eyebrows, the flea's eyebrows, the elephant's eyebrows, or the monkey's eyebrows. Lots of eyebrows there. The gnat's elbow, the canary's tusks, the clam's overshoes, the eel's raincoat, and back to cats, the cat's meow, and the cat's pajamas. It really was the snow clone of its time. We're already scheduled to talk about snow clones more in a future episode, but briefly, these are phrases like orange is the new black, pink is the navy blue of India, and quiet is the new loud, where there's a recognizable pattern and you can just swap in words. In our case here, something fun is the some animals body part or occasionally item of clothing. And like all slang, these phrases had their detractors. An unbylined article in the 1922 Spokesman Review titled Slang of Today, Talk of Tomorrow, Bee's Knees and Cat's Pajamas Already Giving Way to Latest Flapperies, complained about the foolish words and said they were on their way out, but then lamented that, quote, the jazz hounds of this generation love to use long and ugly adjectives like revolting, nauseating, and disgusting. Vile is a favorite word also, and lurid has its admirers, unquote. The writer wasn't free of the bee's knees yet, though, because in late 1922, an influential music publishing firm called Leo Feist released a song called Bee's Knees, which seems likely to have helped the phrase stick in people's minds. I found a snippet of the sheet music, and Teresa Rinalda, a friend, actress, and visual artist, sang it for me, so we can hear what it may have sounded like.
It's the bee's knees, and just take it from me, there's one thing I want to say. You're gonna hear it night and day.
Isn't that wonderful? And like other slang, the bee's knees made its way from teenagers to adults trying to be hip and cool. A couple of years later, in 1925, the phrase showed up in the Automobile Trade Journal in an ad for springs. It says, quote, just ask the dealer who sells them. He'll tell you this number 23008 10-plate spring for the Ford passenger cars is the bee's knees, unquote. And after something that uncool, it's kind of a miracle we ever heard it again. But we did. So if you ever dress up like a flapper for a costume party and your date says you are the bee's knees, you can properly respond that he is the flea's elbow. Grammar Girl is a quick and dirty tips podcast, and I'm Mignon Fogarty, better known as Grammar Girl. That's all. Thanks for listening.